forest. Tread lightly. The Night Stalker by Creepy Oz. I live in Smitten, Australia, a small rural Victorian town you've probably never heard of. And I mean small. Population 250, if that. Don't get me wrong, I like it that way. Peace and quiet. Well, that's why I moved here anyway. I'm not sure about that now. You see, ever since I bought my house out here, I've been experiencing some strange happenings. My house sits on top of a small valley drop that leads down into a creek. I promise that's relevant to the scene here. About a week after I moved in, I looked out the window to see a trail. The trail was definitely not there before. It went straight through the valley, as if something had walked right through there and stopped right at the top, right outside the fence line, separating my house from the valley drop-off. Things didn't stop there. About a week later, I was up late at night struggling to sleep. So I resigned myself to make a cuppa and watch a couple of late-night movies. Sometime during the night, I heard the sound of leaves rustling outside, out the window where I noticed the trail the previous week. I took a sneaky peek out the window, and I saw someone running off down the drop-off. Worried that vandals or burglars were targeting my home, it was at this point I decided to keep a diary, in case I might need to document events to give to law enforcement later on. I'll paste the diary below and let you be the judge. 3rd November. Happened again tonight. Almost asleep, and I hear footsteps running up the valley. Still not sure why whatever it is keeps coming up from that way. I know there's a couple local druggies that live across the creek, maybe scoping the house. 12th November. They cut the fence this time. Woke up around 11 p.m. to an enormous racket. Turned on the spotlight outside to see that the fence was cut straight through. Must have used bolt cutters. Whoever this is seems organized. Unsure why they would cut the fence and just leave. Maybe a show of force. Had to put a bolt on the gate. Might have just been trying to prove a point. No bolt's gonna stop them. Beginning to fear for my safety. 15th November. I woke up this morning to find my entire sideline fence flattened. Cut straight down on either side. No idea why anyone would do this. Have reported to local law enforcement. Investigations underway. November 18th. Local druggies across the creek have been arrested for property damage. Hopefully this brings an end to these visits. 23rd November. Window was smashed in last night. How I didn't wake up to the sound of it, I don't know. Side window, the one looking over the drop-off, very clearly smashed inwards, and what looks like scratch marks around it on the outside. Have reported to police and animal control. Have no idea what makes claw marks like that. December 1st. Whatever is happening, it's not the druggies. They haven't been back in town. This morning I woke up to find footsteps in my yard. These are not normal. Too big. Have purchased CCTV system. Hopefully get some real answers. December 5th. Have moved out of the house. Further incidents have ensued, prompting me to check the security footage. Have not reported anything further to law enforcement. Too bizarre. On 2 occasions, shadows could be reported seen just beyond the tree line. On final night spent in house, I witnessed something reach out from those trees. A long, spindly arm, followed by a tall figure, dragging itself from the trees, up the valley, and into my yard. From 11 p.m. to 4 a.m., it just stood there, looking into my window occasionally. It would wander around my yard, occasionally shuffling up the front stairs and looking into the windows. At times, more of its kind would lumber out from the trees and join it. It seems as though they were waiting for something. That's the end of my diary entries. Towards the end, it became very apparent that I was dealing with something not of this earth. The diary became less of a means to pursue legal action, and more of a record of my final days should anything happen to me. No idea exactly what it was that I saw in those security recordings. It was clearly something we humans are not meant to witness. I know we have some pretty frightening critters down here in the Down Under, supernatural or otherwise, and I am sure I saw something that fits the former category. The scariest part? In its own twisted way, it's almost like they were there to play. It was taunting me, and I have the feeling it would have done much worse if I ever showed my face. Had I acknowledged that I knew it was there, it seems to me that that was the reaction it was hoping for. An acknowledgement of its presence. To know it snuck up on me, cornered me, to delight in seeing the fear of death in me. As to why it never came into the house, I don't know. Maybe it did. There were those scratch marks on the wall the night that my window got busted in. Maybe it was inside that night, and I never even knew it. Maybe on many of those nights, it was just standing there in my room, just waiting for me to open my eyes.